take a look at some of the beautiful vibrant colors that we're going to be using today as we do a reverse flower pour of sorts, using something a little bit different. And the paints that we're using today are going to be quinacridone nickel azo gold, lemon yellow metallic, sky blue light, ultramarine blue, PBO's rich iridescent gold or precious gold, titanium white, and Amsterdam's Prussian blue phthalo. And this is what you see right here. You can see the consistency. It's pretty thin. This is a Prussian blue that has more green in it other than the more purpley blue color. I love that color too, but this one is the green kind. You can see it right here, and Amsterdam's variety of it. So it's a little bit different. If it looks a little bit different than the regular Prussian blue that you're used to seeing. So I'm going ahead and paint it around the edges, and look what I have here. This is actually an egg or tart pan, and it's pretty hard. It's metal, and we're going to be using it to do the reverse flower pour today. So I'm working on a round canvas here. So we're just going to be sticking it in the middle and doing our pour. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and put down a layer of my phthalo Prussian blue or Prussian blue phthalo. I should have mixed just enough to go around my canvas. And then I'm just going to take a palette knife and smooth it down. And we will be ready to begin. Okay, normally you would just place your form down in the middle, but I think what I'm going to do is, because there's not going to be a lot of color, it's kind of a big opening, I'm going to put just a little color in the middle first, just a few swirls of color so that there'll be a little more paint there, and I don't have to worry about it being a bald spot. So let me go ahead and put a little paint down, a little yellow, a little gold, maybe a little orange, and hopefully my middle's not too far off. There we go. And it's spreading really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and put my tin right down on top. And there we go. Hopefully I'm close enough to middle. It's not going to matter too much. I'm going to go ahead and start with my ultramarine blue. And I'm just going to do each color hopefully twice. At least that's the plan. Now I'm going to be going kind of slowly through this because I want to make sure it's completely even. All of my paints are the same consistency, which I think is key here, I've learned. And I want to add a little over to the right. You see where I was missing some, didn't have as much paint. So for each color, I'm going to have to go fairly slowly just to check the coverage. Now I'm putting white down here between that and my next color, because my next color is going to be the orange color, the quinacridone nickel azo gold. And since they are complementary colors on the color wheel, I do not want to make brown. I do not want to make a mess. I want to keep it vibrant. And this is so funny. This is my high school colors, actually. Yeah, I haven't seen those in a while. But I am going to go ahead and put a little bit more white down here too. Not between all of my colors. And I really don't need to do that between orange and yellow since they sit side by side on the color wheel. But I think I will. And I'll let you watch the process. And here's what I have so far. I really like the delineation of the petals with this tart pan because you don't have to go in with the skewer and make the individual petals. So this is going to be interesting how the middle turns out. I'm going to go ahead and finish applying the rest of my paint, my next little amount, until I think I have enough. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here, and this is what I end up with. Now I'm not done. I am going to place the napkin over it and pull it up to get my design. But I've got to very carefully remove this pan, which may be easier said than done. So I'm just going to take a skewer and very carefully pop this up. There's nothing really to grab a hold of. There we go. Okay, that middle is something. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more to the middle. Maybe I should have put a petal here instead. I was kind of thinking this would be like petals in the middle, like a rose petal. And yeah, I'm not so sure about that. That's okay. A little bit more gold. Okay, this sort of looks like the center of a flower. I might need to pull in just a little bit into the center. You can take a skewer. I am actually using a cocktail stick here and pulling in every other petal. I may need to pull in all of the petals, but let's just start with the ones around the edge there. It needs a little bit more. I probably didn't even need to do this, but I want to make sure the design is intricate enough to get an interesting result. Okay, so now I am going to wet my napkin, or I have wet my napkin, and I'm just putting it over the top and carefully smoothing that out. It's actually really hard to put or work with a rectangular napkin over a round canvas, and it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to pull off, and that's a problem. Just going to gently pat this down, and then I'm going to remove my napkin. This is always the scary part. We'll start with the corners and pull in, but we don't have even corners because of using a round canvas. I'm going to hold my breath here. Very careful. I'm not sure I have the bottom up and not quite, but okay, let's let this do its thing. And the bottom, I didn't pull it up enough, but we'll see what happens. I need to torch it, and I'll do that in just a minute. It's going to develop, and it's going to take a little while to develop. You're always like, what is it actually going to look like? It's not as even as I would like, but I know that things in nature are not perfect, but hey, I wanted it to be perfect. Okay, just a little swirl in the middle. And let's do a little bit of shifting and try to draw that out. You can spin it. I don't have my spinner out right now. I'm just going to try to pull the paint down just a little bit where it's short. Down on the bottom, this kind of looks like an eyeball, but hey. Some sort of interesting wheel. Just going to let the paint flow. Try to stretch it out a little bit. Going to clean it up, and I'm going to add a little bit of paint, I think, or I'm going to attempt to. I am not an expert at the reverse flowered pours. That would definitely be Fiona from Fiona Art. She is the expert, And working with this different pan, it's a little different as well. And the round canvas, I probably should have just used a square canvas since I'm going to be using, or a rectangular canvas since I used a rectangular napkin. I'll have to find some round napkins, maybe that would make it easier, but then I won't have any corners to pull up. But yeah, but I'm starting to like this. This is starting to come together here. Just have to keep moving it around a little bit. I think I'm going to add a little bit of extra paint where I am missing some, and hopefully I don't ruin it. Just a little bit of white. Kind of even it out just a little bit. A little bit of yellow. Try to draw those petals up just a little bit. And it's all good. Finagling it just a little bit. Yes, I am cheating, but I'd like for it to be the best flower that it can be. It's definitely not going to be perfect on that side, but I think I'm fairly happy with it. So here is what I am ending up with after my little foray into trying to fix it. And it turned out pretty well for the first time using one of these egg pans. I'm going to have to do this again. I really love the colors. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye now.